When my son Daniel asked if he could stop by on Sunday evening, I didn't hesitate. He had sounded tired, careful, the way children sound when they want something but don't yet know how to ask. I cooked his favorite meal: roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, the gravy recipe his late father loved. I even set the table for 3, out of habit, not hope. When Daniel arrived, his wife Claire followed closely behind him, scrolling through her phone, barely looking up. She kissed the air beside my cheek and sat down without a word. I should have known then. Dinner was quiet. Too quiet. Forks scraping plates. Glasses clinking. Finally, Daniel cleared his throat. "Mom, we need to talk about something." Those words always mean the same thing. Claire leaned back in her chair and crossed her arms. "We've been patient," she said, as if I'd already disappointed her. Daniel avoided my eyes. "We're struggling," he said. "The mortgage went up. The car needs repairs. And honestly, we thought you'd understand." I smiled gently. "Understand what, sweetheart?" Claire sighed dramatically. "That it's time you help us again. For 4 years I had helped. Paid their down payment. Covered medical bills. Sent grocery money. Co-signed loans I never believed in. And when I hesitated, just once, Claire had laughed and said, 'Relax. You don't even spend money on yourself anyway.'" That night something shifted. Not because they asked, but because of how they asked. Not with gratitude, with expectation. Daniel finally looked at me. "We were counting on you. Counting on me." The same words Claire had used months earlier when she announced, casually, that they had moved their wedding date up. I found out through Facebook photos. No invitation. No call. Just captions and champagne smiles. I had paid for the photographer. That night, after they left with empty promises and heavier entitlement, I sat alone in my living room. I looked around at the furniture I had bought so they'd be comfortable when they visited. The guest room I kept ready just in case. The calendar still marked with dates that revolved around their needs. And I asked myself a question I had avoided for years. When did love become a transaction? The next morning, I didn't call Daniel. I didn't text Claire. Instead, I made coffee and opened my bank statements. I added everything up. Rent help. Insurance. Credit cards. Vacations I never took because they needed something more. $41,800. $41,800. Money I had pulled from savings meant for quiet mornings and dignity, not dependency. My hands didn't shake. I felt calm. At the bank, the young clerk looked surprised when I asked to cancel recurring transfers. "Everything?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "Everything." That afternoon Daniel called. Then Claire. Then Daniel again. I didn't answer. By evening they were at my door. They let themselves in. Claire didn't bother pretending. "What is wrong with you?" she snapped. "You embarrassed us at the bank." Daniel stood behind her like a child hiding from consequences. "You're acting irrational," Claire continued. "We're family. What's yours is ours." I laughed. Not kindly. Not softly. "For years," I said, "I gave because I thought love meant sacrifice. I walked to the door and opened it. Now I know love also means boundaries." Claire scoffed. "You'll regret this." I met her eyes. "No," I said. "You will." They left angry, threatening, certain I'd fold. But I didn't. I changed the locks, updated my will, installed cameras, and for the first time in decades, I slept without anxiety. Weeks passed, then months. No apologies. No accountability. Only silence. And in that silence, I found myself again. I joined a book club, took a short trip by the sea, spent money without guilt. One afternoon, a letter arrived. Daniel's handwriting. "I hope you're well," it began. Not "I'm sorry." Not "I was wrong." Just hope. I folded the letter and placed it in a drawer. Some doors, once closed, are meant to stay that way. I am not bitter. I am free. And that is something they can never take from me.